We are the PCE, the Community Welfare Committee. Our goal is to promote harmony between cultures and to advance education and mutual understanding within our community. We are speaking today because of a growing concern for the children of a large portion of our population. The announcement of the termination of DACA on March 5, 2018 has created a growing anxiety and fearful environment within families and the community as a whole. Although we intend to speak to you today merely about DACA, it is only one small piece of the immigration issue which becomes embedded in our discussion. We also find Trump's recent admission that he wants to nullify birthright citizenship with an executive order to be a related issue that could severely impact even more of our Latino youth. And so we mention it as well. In the 1990s and 2000s, the U.S. started reinforcing the U.S.-Mexico border for many people previously working temporarily in the U.S. and then going back to their families. This action turned into too much of a repeated risk, so they decided to settle in the U.S. with their families. Children that came with their families crossing the U.S. were condemned to grow up as illegal immigrants in their new country. These children were known as dreamers. Some legislation meant to give them a path to citizenship back in 2001 by Senator Mariah Cantwell of Washington and Senator Orrin Hatch of Utah. However, that legislation never materialized. President Barack Obama created the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival Program, or DACA, in 2012. This didn't give dreamers a path to citizenship either, but offered temporary protection from deportation and permitted dreamers to get driver's licenses and work legally in the U.S. It lasted for 2 years with a chance for renewal. Not everyone qualified for the program. Immigrants had to have come to the country before 2007 and have been 15 or younger when they arrived, and younger than 31 when DACA was created in June 2012. It benefited about 800,000 dreamers living in the United States who came here illegally as children. Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals has protected thousands of young adult and authorized immigrants from deportation and allowed them to work legally since 2012. Many of these individuals didn't even know their immigration status until they were old enough to apply for a driver's license or fill out a form for college or employment. Even immigrants who are DACA eligible often don't go beyond high school. Only about 5% have bachelor's degrees. Some immigrants have been dissuaded from pursuing their educational and career goals by their unauthorized status. However, that being said, DACA recipients were already primed to do better than the unauthorized immigrants because of their fluency in English and education. President Donald Trump announced he will not renew the program, saying that former President Barack Obama overstepped his executive authority in creating it. Trump left it up to Congress to find a permanent solution for the young people, unsure whether they will face deportation with the program, which he has called illegal amnesty, expires on March 5th, 2018.
Without a path to citizenship, dreamers have been living in limbo, forced to renew their status every 2 years. This limbo has been extended by court cases and is expected to go to the Supreme Court. Opponents of DACA argue that it is not the policy that they don't agree with, it is the way in which it was enacted through an executive order. Congress should make laws, not the president. However, since Trump announced its end, Congress has made no headway because they are trying to attach the future of the Dreamers to hardline immigration laws, not allowing a path forward for the Dreamers unless these strict immigration policies are passed as well. So Dreamers might face deportation when it is all over. But is it fair to tie the Dreamers to hardline immigration laws and, in effect, hold them hostage? There are 3,427 students on DACA in the state of Idaho. Almost half, 43%, of Blaine County's student population is Latino. When it was announced that DACA was being rescinded, many families and their children began living in a state of fear that they would be deported because of their DACA status and forced to move to a country that they no longer call home. This fear has been exacerbated by mass ICE raids, causing fear in all immigrants, including DACA families, and leaving classrooms with many open seats because families are terrified of being separated. Further evidence of this fear can be seen in the fact that free and reduced lunch is down by 12%, which the school administration supposes to be because immigrant families do not want to file documentation with the state. The recent district policy of allowing only volunteers who have been fingerprinted and background checked has resulted in drastic decreases in the amount of Latino volunteers within our schools. It can be assumed that this is because they are afraid of documentation with the state. Latino children, including dreamers, are being raised and educated in an atmosphere of fear and anxiety. Safety and security is one of the basic needs in order for learning to take place. It can be inferred that living in a state of fear could be having a dramatic effect on the learning of our youth. However, this is an assumption that requires more research and investigation. Many immigrant families came to the United States fleeing dangerous situations. Emerson Flores Minico, for example, came to the USA because he was being forced into a gang in El Salvador. Piero Carrillo came because he was thrown out of his house at the age of 10 and was forced to enroll in the military. Fleeing to the USA was his only way out. These parents came seeking an asylum, as is their human right. Yet dreamers live in fear of being thrown back into these countries, and they lack the tools to deal with the dangerous situations their parents escaped from because they were raised within the security of the United States. If natural-born citizenship is revoked, even more of our children will face this same threat. Both the United States and our community are currently facing a labor shortage, with employers unable to fill available jobs. It has been suggested that this is the reason for the slow business growth within the Wood River Valley. Every person who is deported is a job that employers will struggle to fill. It is in the best interest of economic growth for our valley to support dreamers and the continuance of the 14th Amendment regarding natural-born citizenship, as it is currently interpreted. More research is needed to understand how this would affect our local economy, but it is estimated that the national economy would gain $350 billion in revenue, $90 billion of which would be taxes, if DACA recipients are allowed to stay for another 10 years. We recommend to both our community and our nation that you, the people and individuals, seek to become educated about DACA and follow issues surrounding immigration. Just through keeping abreast of what is happening and engaging in discussion, you can educate people and spread awareness. Avoid creating a false panic by adhering to facts and not succumbing to rumors and gossip, such as we have had with the ICE scares. Dreamers are not only living in fear, they are also living in limbo. Without a clear path to citizenship, their futures are uncertain. Write and call your congressman, urging them to give dreamers a path to citizenship in a way that is not tied to other issues or bills. Sign petitions and protest. Most especially, protect even more of our youth and the 14th Amendment by protesting the idea of overwriting it and ending natural-born citizenship for people born of illegal aliens, a right that we have had for more than 80 years. Support and join advocacy groups that work to protect immigrants. Join groups like Nosotros United, the local high school group that has transcended age and skin color, working to educate, create understanding, and develop positive relationships between Latinos and other cultures. Choose love instead of hate, and seek to understand and befriend different cultures and ways of life. Thank you.